Hello, hello, and happy Friday. It's Friday, September 26th, 2025. You are tuned into the TED Manila Information Show, TMI show for short, because we bring you way too much information. I'm Manila Chan. That over there is Ted Rall. A lot of stuff, a busy Friday, a lot of stuff on the docket today. But we do this, of course, every Monday through Friday live at 10 a.m. Eastern time. So please be sure to hit the like, the follow, the subscribe button, and the share button, because that will help take us a long way in growing this little channel. So on the docket today, the big news, and I think Ted agrees, that the Northern California Bay Area town of San Rafael is on a terror alert. Ted, I'm not sure if we're using the George W. Bush color-coded system, what threat level are they at? Are they at orange, at yellow, like red, imminent? Like
fuchsia bright red.
Oh man. They're on a terror alert there.
Yes.
Because there is a wild animal attacking passersby. Now, if you're not familiar with San Rafael or Marin County, which is where this is where Marin County is where I would say about a decade ago, where the measles outbreak that we're seeing now was brought back. It's a very well-to-do, the area, Ted. It's a
very
well
well-to-do, because I used to live in Berkeley.
So yeah, very well-to-do area. Mm-hmm. People are well-educated and well-financed, let's say, in that area.
They're in deep shit now.
Well, I didn't know that.
They're being attacked by a domestic terror.
There's domestic terror. And it won't be long before Donald Trump issues an executive order, and we're going to tell you about that. This is, yes, I have theories behind this, Ted. I have theories because we're coming up on a special 1-year anniversary, and I'll tell you I'll give you my theory about San Rafael, but that's at the end of the show. Before we get to that, we got other breaking news like the UNGA underway. Benjamin Netanyahu he just finished his speech moments ago before we got on air. But we'll give you an update out of the UNGA and some other news surrounding Israel. We'll talk about a new, I don't know if maybe it's a bombshell, maybe not. I think for people that kind of delved into the world of J6, this is, as they say, give a conspiracy theorist 6 months and then they won't be a conspiracy theorist anymore, because everything they say proves to be true. Turns out a new FBI internal report shows there were hundreds and hundreds of feds, of G-men, posing as J6ers. Who knew? But now it's official. So we'll tell you about that. Amazon reaching this sketchy $2.5 billion settlement for their sketchy business practices. That's I think the biggest in the FTC history, Ted. 2.5 billion. That's
a lot of cash.
It's a lot of coin. So with that, let's hop to it. And I won't Jaws too early this time. I'm actually going to cue it.
Don't premature Jawsculate.
Jawsculate us.
Thank you.
All right, Teddy, that's you.
What? It says, oh, okay, never mind.
No,
I don't know
it says
why.
Ted.
God, it's like, what's going on with me? All right, here we go. Microsoft said...
No, wait, breaking news.
Okay, it is breaking news.
Breaking.
All right, that's true. Scores of delegates and diplomats have walked out in protest as Bibi Netanyahu took to the lectern here in New York City at the UN General Assembly. That's basically the size of it. And let's go ahead and go to the video.
Yeah, we're looking at that. You see, Ted, I've covered the UNGA many times. I have never seen the chamber floor this empty. I remember when Ahmadinejad, remember there was a whole hoopla about Ahmadinejad coming here?
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, oh, terrorists, like, how dare you allow him in? How could you give him a visa to come? Remember, Donald Trump did not give Mahmoud Abbas a visa to come speak. So
Yep.
Abbas had to do a video speech yesterday. But even
Which is just
when
as well, because
Ahmadinejad,
Mahmoud Abbas is 174
I
years
know.
old. So, the trip might have been
It-
hard on him.
Ted, now that you bring that up, Mahmoud Abbas might have been AI.
Oh, yeah. He's like the Joe Biden of the Palestinian Authority.
Yes. So I wasn't going to go there, but I guess I have to go there. I can't trust that what I saw at the UN yesterday, that Abbas was really Abbas. It might have been AI boss. So I don't know. But this right here was like, I've never seen anything like this. I've never seen.
This, by the way, is a golden opportunity, Manila. If I'd been the physical plant manager at the United Nations this morning, I would have been like, never has the place been so empty. We've got to do a deep clean. Bring in some illegal migrants in there and get scrubbing. Because, you're going to be able to get into all the hard to reach places there under the desks. And you're never going to have it that empty ever again.
I've literally never seen it this empty. And I've covered this stuff for at least a decade. I didn't. I was floored.
Look,
I was floored.
You know how sometimes you need to clear a space. So after Netanyahu is overthrown and Israel becomes, a non-apartheid state and Palestine is free, Netanyahu will have a new job. Like, for example, let's say a wedding's running too long. You bring in Netanyahu, all the stragglers leave. Let's say it's closing time. Netanyahu walks into a bar, everybody leaves.
He clears everyone out. That's
if you ever, let's say, how Robbie wanted to deport all the illegals, you just send Netanyahu in anywhere where there are illegals and they'll just leave.
Just have him walk around Home Depot.
Yeah, they'll just leave. He can sort of walk towards them, toward the border, and they'll walk back across the border.
It'll like a force field, push them back.
Yeah, whenever you need him, we're going to talk about the monster in San Rafael. He could get rid of that. Let's say he has
the same effect on animals.
Yeah, I think so. Oh, because animals are very sensitive. Imagine if you had an infestation of any animal. You just whatever, rats. Rats aren't evil like Netanyahu. They would run away. We have a rat problem in New York. He could
Your
literally.
rat czar just quit, by the way.
Yeah, so he could be the rat czar. He could just walk around in the subways. The rats would all run away. Just
scatter. Yeah, but they're going to go somewhere else, so they're not really.
Oh, that's true. But that's every superpower has an exception. There's always some kind of problem.
Clearing the room makes sense. The rats not so much, because then you're just going to push the rats.
By the way, the speech was insane. So, besides the fact that he,
forward to his,
it's this really funny thing about Netanyahu. Not only is he a genocidal maniac, so that's kind of tacky, but on top of that, he's really an asshole. And he talks to everybody like an asshole. And he did this incredibly pompous,
fucking
multiple choice perfect word for it.
So patronizing.
Basically, and he's like, which group chants death to America? Is it A, Hamas? Is it B, your mom? Is it D, your sister? It's a D. So anyway, the point is, and also the whole chants death to America. I don't give a shit who chants death to Ted Rall. Chant away, have a good time. No,
if I didn't have the video, Ted, nobody would believe. Look at this. Really, what grade are we in? This is what you do for first and second graders. This is, you're talking to. Well, I would say a room full of adult delegates and diplomats, but there's. Yeah, maybe the people that are in the room physically could not leave the room, Ted. There might, maybe they called for their wheelchair to come.
Right.
And they didn't.
Good point.
And the wheelchair.
Look at that. Iran, Hamas, Hezbollah, the Houthis, all of the above.
The Ukraine.
Yeah. By the way, also, I know you know this. The purpose of the UN was as a peacemaking organization, right? And here this guy comes up and gives this speech about how, Israel and he have been bombing the Iranians, the Houthis, the Syrians, the Lebanese, everyone else, the Iraqis. And he's like, we bombed these guys, we bombed those guys. And he's bragging about it. Dude, you're at the UN. At the UN, you're supposed to lie and say that you want peace. Instead, you're talking about how you're blowing everyone up and you're bragging about it.
That's
like,
a good
read the room. Oh, I guess you could read the room if anyone was,
it was
in
empty.
the room. You can't read the room.
Empty.
There's no one to read.
It was empty. But yeah, you're right, Ted. At the very least, put on the fake veneer of caring about humanity and the world. Like, at least pretend like
these
come
are
on,
the last
bro.
these are the last gasps of a dying country and a dying prime minister. This is a dead end situation.
He's not helping Israelis. He's not.
Imagine if apartheid South Africa had continued 20 more years.
My God.
That's what this would look like. It would look like
this guy is bad for Israel, Ted. This guy's bad for
it's true.
Jews
if
around
you care
the world.
He's the number one cause of anti-Semitism on the
Jews
planet.
In my
that
family.
Guy right there.
Like, I have Jews in my extended family. He is bad news for them. He makes people start to become actually anti-Semitic.
True.
Like he is not good for Jews worldwide. Like I don't know who they would have to replace him for the same reason. I can't say who could replace Mahmoud Abbas because they haven't had elections in like 200 years. But either way, those two men are not good for their causes.
No, that's true. Although Mahmoud Abbas is significantly less bad for the Palestinians.
Yes. Well, yes.
I mean, as corrupt and old and worthless and impotent as he is, I mean, Jesus. I mean, Netanyahu, I'm trying to think if there's anyone who's ever been more repugnant on the world stage. And I would say no. I mean, when you think about Idi Amin was far more charming.
Yeah.
And so was Gaddafi and Saddam Hussein, all those dictators. Pinochet, Augusto Pinochet was a shitheel, not as much of a shitheel as Netanyahu.
Gaddafi had swagger and style, Ted. We talked about this yesterday.
Yeah, that's true.
I
think you'd have to go back to Big AH. I do, to really find someone who's just so like personally repugnant alongside his, his politics.
Well, yeah, looking at this, the empty room, I was watching this live moments ago, and I still couldn't believe it.
He knew this was going to happen.
You think he knew?
Well, he's not. He's evil. He's not dumb. Of course, he knew this was going to happen. By the way, he should have been prepared for it, and I would have made a joke. I would have been like, "Don't go. There's going to be bagels and lox."
And given, obviously, Ted, like Jewish people are known for their sense of humor, not here.
No, he's
not here.
Literally the most humorless Jew in the world.
Like,
that's sad.
That's saying like
that's it's like my mom. She was French and a terrible cook. That's just wrong.
That's wrong. I've never met a Jew, and I know lots of Jews. I'm from LA.
Or like a sloppy Japanese person. Like what's with that? Yeah. What the fuck is that?
I've never met a Jew that didn't have a great sense of humor. Never. That's how I fell in love with my ex. Amazing sense of humor. He laughed my panties off. Like that's how it happened. I laughed my panties off, and that's how I almost married him. So Netanyahu, not funny.
By the way, I just want to say that first of all, the UN General Assembly needs an architectural makeover. I mean, it's such a weird hodgepodge of decorative styles from the 50s, 60s, and 70s. And the color schemes are weird, and they clash.
50s and 60s. This is the worst of mid-century modern. This is horrible.
And also, do you notice there's no natural light? I mean, it's a cave, right? I mean, it must be fucking miserable to be in there.
The Hague had a makeover like 20 years ago.
It looks great now.
It looks modern. It's like clean, white, warm wood tones. Mm-hmm. It's like, oh, wow, this is the Hague? You're like, oh. Wow. But then we come to RUN in New York City and you're like,
and like, look at that background with Habibi on your B-roll there. I mean, there's that sort of that green marble. That's very Soviet, right?
It's not even like a slab of green marble. It's squares.
Yeah.
So it's cheap. It's cheaper. Cheaper to buy 12-inch by 12-inch flooring to put up instead, because you have to pay a whole lot more.
Then there's that gold. There's that gold shit in the background. So that's
gold
like
lame.
that's like sort of proto Trump.
This is terrible. All of it is terrible. It's like a bad Star Wars scene, right?
Yep.
Like this is what it screams.
And all the chairs, like what's with the alternating yellow and blue chairs? What's that? Like a gift from Ukraine or what's going on? I don't understand.
Let me see. Let me see the chairs.
Let's see. We got a
they're like doctor's office.
Oh, here we go. Razmataz. What about the Israeli roommate who dumped feces on his ex-girlfriend? Did he have a sense of humor other than, I don't know, bio-war? Good point.
Ew.
Excellent point, Razmataz. Well, here's
bad
the thing. Razmataz just made me have a realization, which is unusual before 12 noon. And here's the thing. Israelis are the Jews that don't have a sense of humor. That's the right to return. If you're Jewish and you are in the world, but you're one of the humorless ones, then you have to go to Israel. That's where it's where they all aggregate and they all like humorlessly go there to kill Palestinians. That's the main point. Like, it's true everywhere outside of Israel.
That's a good point.
It's sort of like if you go to India, the drivers are amazing. And I was like, what's with the Indian drivers here in New York where they're terrible? And it's like, I realized they're deporting all of their shitty drivers to us. And because they're great drivers in like, in places like Delhi, they're great. In Mumbai, they're driving
like
oh yeah. And like, with all the tuk-tuks and all the,
with with a little half-inch between cars. You're just
literally a truck will like zoom past you and the guy will pull his mirror closed to get past you. He's going by at 50. No, I mean, that's what's going on. That is the realization. Israel is the homeland for humorless Jews.
Oh, because I know, like I told you before, I don't know.
Anna Monterey says Bibi is speaking to American conservatives, MAGA and evangelical. So basically, like year-olds. That's fair.
Boomers. He's talking to.
He's talking. I think it's true. He's talking to MAGA conservatives and evangelicals.
But the boomers. It's the boomers. It's the boomer evangelicals. It's the Lindsey Grahams.
I dare say that no one is quite that stupid, though. I mean, no one's as stupid as he thinks. Retards aren't as retarded as he thinks.
He's lost the whole Zoomer support. Like that's gone. That's gone.
Yeah, that's true.
But again, like you said, if he had a little bit of like the Western European Jewish sense of humor or the American Jews, he would do a lot better to win over support.
Or he could have just been snotty and been like, "Hey, assholes, don't let the door hit you on your fat fucking foreign asses on the way out."
Even that would have been funny though. Yeah. But he didn't. He was just like stood up there like indignant. Ew, I just watched him spit. So he was talking so angrily that it was like he was spitting just now. But anyway, we should go on to at least read the story about what Bill Gates's company.
Cool. All right, that's you, right? Yeah, that's you.
No, that's you.
Oh, that's me. Oh my God, so much confusion here. Microsoft said Thursday that it has stopped providing certain services to a division of the Israeli Ministry of Defense. Microsoft didn't say which specific services it stopped providing. However, I heard that it was cloud services. The decision comes after the software company investigated an August report from The Guardian saying that the IDF's Unit 8200 built a system for tracking the phone calls of Palestinians. While our review is ongoing, we have found evidence that supports elements of The Guardian's reporting. Microsoft President and Vice Chair Brad Smith wrote in an email to Microsoft employees, "This evidence includes information relating to IMOD, Israeli Minister of Defense, consumption of Azure storage capacity in the Netherlands, and the use of AI services. Microsoft's decision follows pressure from employees who protested Israel's use of the company's software as part of its invasion of Gaza. Over the past few weeks, Microsoft fired 5 workers who participated in protests at company HQ in Redmond, Washington State. The move comes a week after a UN commission concluded that Israel has committed genocide against the Palestinians. Microsoft told Israeli defense officials that it decided to disable cloud-based storage and artificial intelligence subscriptions. He said that Microsoft doesn't look at customer data for the type of review that it conducted, and he thanked The Guardian for its reporting. On Thursday, the paper reported that unnamed intelligence sources had said that Unit 8200 was planning to migrate its supply of the phone calls to Amazon Web Services, the market-leading public cloud. Amazon did not immediately comment. The heat will obviously come on them next.
I'm not sure that's smart on Amazon, given they just had this multi-billion-dollar settlement with the FTC. But, well, Ted,
Amazon
spying.
Amazon may not do it, right?
So. Oh, there's the ugly chairs, Ted. There's the ugly chairs. Ew!
Those are some ugly chairs.
Look, it's all peeling. Look at this one's all stained down here at the bottom. You see that?
Those are like
bottom right.
Jism stains.
Oh, there's stains on the chairs. There's peeling.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh my God! Look at the seats. Oh, they're all busted.
It's also funny because there's the front seats, right? Like where the people get a desk, and then it's like, oh, if you're like number 2, like you have to sit in the blue seats behind there.
Oh, I see. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Where your job is to scratch the ass of the person in the seat in front of you.
At the table, the one that gets the table.
We have Robbie. Go ahead and put that up, and I'll read it.
Look at the we desperately need a remodel here.
Oh my God, the carpet.
Look, it's horrible. All of it.
Don't forget your putter when you're there. Doesn't it look like the miniature golf place? It
does. This is like a putt-putt. Like
it's putt-putt. All right, here we go. Still haven't tried 1775 coffee? Now's your shot. See what I did there? The 1775 starter kit just dropped. Only 1,000 units. You're getting the bold dark roast that hits hard, the smooth medium roast, and the vitality mushroom coffee for clean energy and laser focus. No crash. All single origin, small batch, toxin free and mold free. Plus, you're also getting a gold spoon clip because freedom isn't scooped with plastic. A gold for a frother strong enough to stir up your coffee and your mother-in-law's opinions, and a black 1775 tumbler. $170 worth of coffee and gear, yours for $99. This is for the ones who've been watching 1775 blow up on Rumble, wondering if it's actually worth it. Spoiler, it is. Go to 1775coffee.com/studio and grab your starter kit before they're gone. All right, so we should move on. Manila, your story.
Let me boot this guy off the off the screen.
I don't think I haven't eaten breakfast yet, and I would like to eat at some point without like vomiting.
Yeah, I would advise people to go listen for themselves at the UN's YouTube page and hear his full speech.
It is worth it.
Yeah, it's infuriating.
You do need to know.
There's a lot of just very outright lies, but to
say the least.
But yes. to say the least, and then we should go back and to the other day when we welcomed President Head Chopper. I think he goes by Al Shara now. His Al Qaeda name was Al Jalani. Mm-hmm. When we had the bounty on his head for $10 million, right? Last Christmas. Mm-hmm. We should hear his speech as well.
How things change.
Because he's all like peace and love, America. Now you should go hear that. So it's very interesting. All right. Enough with the UN. Down here to DC, an internal action report. That's what it's called. Internal after action report. Kept secret for more than 4 years, reveals the FBI sent 274 plainclothes armed agents to the U.S. Capitol on January 6, 2021, far more than previously acknowledged, and that the deployment was marred by poor planning, scant safety gear, and confusion about roles. The 50-page report, now in the hands of the House Judiciary Committee, captures deep frustration inside the Bureau's Washington field office, known as the WFO, with rank-and-file agents accusing leadership of political bias and wokeness that left them, quote, as pawns in a political war. Agents wrote anonymously that they were told simply to, quote, stand the line without riot control training or equipment. Many contrasted the aggressive pursuit of Capitol riot suspects, including SWAT arrests for misdemeanors, including, like grandmas and people that were just milling about, with what they viewed as a soft response to the violent summer 2020 protests. Quote, our response to the Capitol riot reeks of political bias, one agent said in his remarks, or their remarks, I should say. Others complained WFO prioritized optics like mask mandates and diversity recruiting over operational readiness. The revelations contradicted years of tight-lipped testimony by then director Christopher Wray, who had refused to say how many agents were actually on the ground. The report also raises legal questions about whether prosecutors fully disclosed that so many undercover federal personnel were actually present, information that could figure in appeals for J6 convictions. Agents alleged that politics shaped decisions well beyond the FBI, blaming the DC U.S. Attorney's Office for driving questionable misdemeanor investigations while neglecting violent crime. Several recommended giving disillusioned staff exit options from what they saw as a politicized agency. House Judiciary Chairman Jim Jordan and the J6 subcommittee head Barry Loudermilk said the document opens new lines of inquiry. Why Congress and the courts were never told of the FBI presence, whether any undercover agents acted as witnesses, and whether leadership misled prior investigations. While former Director Wray has publicly rejected claims of anti-conservative bias, the report records widespread internal doubt. It portrays an agency that, according to its own field agents, lost focus on core law enforcement duties in favor of political calculations, leaving both agents and the public unprotected during one of the most scrutinized security failures in modern U.S. history. Now, Ted, correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't Christopher Wray put into that office under Trump's first term?
That is my recollection.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm misremembering. Yep, Robbie says yes.
Yep.
So, yeah. So okay. So all these people for the past 4 years that we've all been called conspiracy theorists, saying there were definitely feds there. Like, just the place was teeming with feds. Everyone's like, you guys are all conspiracy theorists. I'm going to say, boom, score for us tinfoil hatters, because it proved to be accurate. Now, do we know much about the Ray? What's his name? Ray, the big guy that was the big old white dude that was leading the group in the front.
Ray Epps is who you're talking about.
Ray Epps. Is he among those? Is he a paid informant? We don't know yet, but
no one knows, because his file was on Pam Bondi's desk too. So when she lost Epstein's paperwork, Ray's got lost as well. So now we do have him on foot. Now we do have him on camera saying, y'all go to the Capitol tomorrow. We're going to storm the Capitol. Mm-hmm. He was saying this on the back of, he was saying all this, but he's rather by a truck, if not in the back of the truck. And people all around him were pointing at him, screaming, "Fed, Fed, Fed." So some people were able to read the room. If he was not a Fed, then or
at least a paid informant,
then I am a transgender libtard activist who wants open borders and mass immigration.
Oh, you're a plant. You're so
yes.
Whatever you say,
so
Roberta.
Right extreme.
That's it. Yeah, but no,
that's right,
the thing
Roberta.
is, none of these people went to jail. And to Ted's point earlier in the week, when we were talking about this mythical organization does not exist called Antifa.
It doesn't.
If you're, of course it doesn't. But we know, just like unicorns, it doesn't exist. It's mythical.
Unicorns don't exist.
They might.
So there will never be an instance where federal agents would infiltrate cells for this mythical organization that does not exist help foment political violence and cause security concerns to try and make people look to the government to save them from a problem that the government itself has created.
Robbie, that's the point that I think we need to focus on, though. Okay, so listen, I don't have strong opinions about this, and but I do think it's important to sort of be clear here. So I want to sort of tease it out. So people on the right have long said there were lots of feds there, and basically the Biden administration has, to be charitable, dissembled about that. Now it's clear that the people on the right were right about that. Okay, so that's settled. I think that's team right 1-0. Okay, but the question is, what were they doing there, right? So the implication, although rarely stated outright, was that that the feds were agents provocateurs who were there, who basically an agent provocateur is someone who melds into the crowd and stirs up a crowd that would otherwise be peaceful into doing violent shit.
Apparently,
to do violent shit to make them look bad that they would not otherwise have done. Like, hey, let's storm the Capitol. Let's break windows. Let's take a shit on Nancy Pelosi's desk. Okay, so that's what an agent provocateur is, right? Now, the question is, I guess we'd have to assume that if the FBI agents in this case did that, this was under the outgoing Trump administration, but this would have been the DOJ before it was fully Trumpied, and it's still kind of deep-stated and still kind of resistant to Trump, right? So the question is, are people on the right, like I'm going to say Robbie and sort of half Manila, are you guys asserting that these guys, or some of them, or all of them, were agents provocateurs? Because this report seems to indicate they're saying, listen, we were just told to go in there and mix with the crowd and try to hold the line, which to me means like basically try to provide some sort of lay mass security. So I'm asking, and this is like, I'm really curious.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, and no, and I mean, no, and I have no doubt whatsoever that there are FBI informants who are working right now to radicalize and entrap Antifa types to go out and just cause trouble on the other way. I have no doubt about it. We know also that there were
Patriot Front.
Yeah,
Patriot Front.
Well, we also know that there were feds who were in the Proud Boys. One of the Proud Boys' top leaders was a federal informant.
Now the question is why?
To cause
were they spies?
Exactly.
I mean, were they spies, or were they trying to stir up trouble?
They're trying to stir up trouble.
Both,
because
they can stir up trouble and then go report back. It's like the honeypot traps. The honey traps that like the FBI always sets up, right? They do that to have somebody, they cause crimes so they can pretend to solve them. That's exactly what it is. Like the same way that Gretchen Whitmer was going to get kidnapped by somebody with like a 72 IQ.
Or remember, like all the kids who were supposedly going to go to join ISIS in Syria, but that they wouldn't have done anything if
they create the crime so they can bust the crime and tell America,
scam, going back to the beginning.
Saved you.
It's bigger than this. It's bigger than that.
We saved you from the Patriot Front. We saved you from Proud Boys when they are the Proud Boys and they are the Patriot Front.
It's bigger than that, though. As the economy deteriorates, in order to distract the population from just how bad things are getting, they're going to try and make everybody fight each other. That's all. That's what this is. It's all distraction. They want the people on my side of the aisle to think the problem is all the lefties. Ted Rall is my problem. The Democrats are my problem. They're who is screwing me. And then the flip side, they would say, look at all these whiteys over here. These are the problems. These are the people who are screwing you over. This is the problem. That's right. Why the hell do you think Jasmine Crockett's in Congress? She's the most low IQ, brain-addled, weave-headed witch I've ever seen in my life. I mean, she brings nothing of value whatsoever. So why is she there? She's there to say it's all Whitey's fault. That's how most of the squad is. That's what this is. I mean, then why do you have Brian Mast in Congress, that low IQ turd muncher who should be in Israel right now? It's the same thing. That's all this is. This is India 2.0. This is the British trying to play the Indians against each other so they wake up and realize, oh my God, we don't have a country anymore. That's what this is.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you got to have chaos to make that happen.
It's all
I completely,
all and off.
I'm sold.
All of it.
I believe you. I think you're right. Okay, the question is, what should happen next, and what will happen next?
Abolish the FBI, burn it to the ground, hang Kash Patel by the neck till dead, send Pam Bondi to Jerusalem where she can stay there.
Remember, we want to keep our show. We want to keep our show.
We want to keep our YouTube channel, Robbie.
I'm talking metaphorically here. I'm talking.
Hang him by the toes, maybe. You mean hang Kash Patel by the toes?
Gently with a feather till he's very annoyed.
Fine. Well, then you hang his career by the neck till dead, or you can deport him to Israel with Pam Bondi. Either way works. But the point of the case, what should happen is that the FBI should be destroyed. It should be dismantled. The CIA should be broken into a million little pieces. That's what should happen. What will happen is that the beat's going to keep going on, and nothing's going to change until this country implodes.
Look, I'm going to say this was all in an effort to advance the expansion of the Patriot Act. And this is why the feds do that. It's all in support of expanding the Patriot Act from the war on terror. And now we're going to expand domestic war on terror.
Extending, expanding, or both?
All of it. They want the extended and expanded powers. And because people have talked about ending Thomas Massie has talked about ending the Patriot Act, that we should, overturn it. It's time to move on from that chapter and give Americans privacy again. And the powers that be are like, no, we need to continue the Patriot Act, and we need to expand the powers of the Patriot Act. And as we see now, there's even more technological capability than ever. Forget what Edward Snowden told us. That was like child's play. Today, they can spy on every facet of your living being, because there's more electronics than when Snowden and Glenn Greenwald and Laura Poitras, dumped this all on us. We didn't know we thought that was nutty at the time. Maybe not all of us, but
it's bigger than that now. Like, have y'all seen what's going on now with Congress taking another look at Section 230? It's bigger than that. So for those of you who don't know,
so that's why they want this op. That's the importance, Ted. That's why. Oh, there it is. So Ted, that's why the importance is, because it's all in service of expansion of the Patriot Act and indefinite extension of it. So that way they can continue to expand forever and ever, so they can reach into every corner of Americans' lives. And the whole industrial, the whole military industrial complex, the whole Silicon Valley industrial complex, they can continue a deep reach into our lives and control us henceforth. Robbie's got more details.
Yeah, but what is that Congress? There's a big push in Congress right now at the APAC of the ADL. The ADL's Jonathan Greenblatt was having a meeting with Congressman Bacon from Kansas, I believe it was, talking about how Congress needs to start taking action to reform Section 230 to make it where that platforms are required to regulate whatever hate speech is. Pam Bondi has brought that up as well, as y'all know, and then she's tried to walk that dog back. She's not been able to. Here's the issue: the government cannot allow true independent media to flourish where people have these things called ideas and then cell phones, and they're able to start talking to each other directly. You can't have that. You've got to have a closed system. That's what's going to come next. Mark my words. What's going to happen is that there's going to be more political violence, and then people are going to point to Rumble specifically, because Rumble's is in the crosshairs, and then Facebook and some of the other big posts, and talk about what is hate speech and how hate speech needs to be regulated. And that is why Oracle is slated right now to take over TikTok. So you cannot have. So you cannot have China owning a social media company here in America because of propaganda and censorship. But it's perfectly fine, though, to have Israel have American social media because of censorship, and it's upside down world.
Israel's Pegasus spy software is like some of the most dangerous in the world. But to their credit, it's also among the best and most precise spying software out there in the world also. But the US wants their fingers on that too. Shout out, by the way, to our friend Nerd for his donation. He says, our government does this all over the world. Why pretend they're not doing it here? Welcome to the dark side, Ted. And Adrian says, Richard Nixon said Americans don't believe anything unless it's on TV. Only thing that's changed, substitute TV for phones.
Sir Bikes has a question for me. Question to Robbie. How many types of guns take a stripper clip and how cheap are they? So email me, because if we were just on Rumble, I would answer this question. YouTube, though, would have a problem. If you email me at westglaciergaming@gmail.com, I would be happy to answer that gun question for you.
Or hold on, we can put this up. Any questions can go there.
All right, let's keep going here.
TMI show question at Yahoo.
Believe it or not, I have a taper after this show.
Oh, okay, so we got to go. Not a tapeworm.
Not a tapeworm, or a guinea worm, which is not a good worm to have.
Tapeworm makes you skinny, though, Ted.
That's true. I could borrow a tapeworm right now. So
it might be better for you than the GLP-1.
This is lore from tapeworm story. Lore from my childhood. One of my neighbors up the street in Kettering, he was checking in on his daughter, who was one of my classmates. He was like, you go check your kid to see how they're sleeping before you go to bed. And he said he noticed something sticking out of her mouth, a little girl, while she was sleeping.
No.
Mm-hmm. So they do that. Apparently they come out to breathe sometimes. So it came up her mouth.
Tapeworms? I heard that they can come out of your butthole to.
Well, this one came out of her mouth. Yeah.
That means
he grabbed it and tried to pull it out. And then of course she wakes up screaming. He's trying to pull it out. Couldn't get it out.
Ew.
Yeah. But there's drugs you can take, and that's what they did.
Oh, tapeworms. Okay. All right. Let's move on.
I don't know if this is true. I'm just saying this is the story I was told. All right. Here we go.
From the little girl.
No. This was adult lore from within the neighborhood. The father told my mom. All right. Amazon reached a $2.5 billion settlement with the FTC, the Federal Trade Commission, ending a civil trial over claims that it enrolled customers in Amazon Prime without their consent and intentionally made cancellations difficult. I love the fact that internally, Manila, they called this the Iliad system, because getting out of canceling Amazon Prime was as complicated as the trials and tribulations recorded in the epic poem, the Iliad, of the Trojan War. Anyway, the company's shares fell 1% on the news of the settlement without admitting wrongdoing. But, come on. They did wrongdoing. That's why they're paying $2.5 billion. Amazon will pay $1 billion civil penalty, the largest in FTC history, and refund $1.5 billion to the affected consumers. The fine represents 0.1% of its $2.3 trillion market cap. Prime, which has over 200 paying customers, including yours truly, helped generate over almost $24 billion in subscription revenue during the first half of 2025. However, the FTC alleges that Amazon locked
members,
nearly 40 million consumers into recurring subscriptions with deceptive page designs, including a 4-page, 6-click, 15-option Iliad-like journey to cancel called Iliad Flow. Here we go. Amazon revised the flow in 2023.
They called it that. They named it that, Ted.
Yeah, internally.
So that means they know. That means they knew. Obviously,
yeah, they knew. It should be obviously as easy to cancel a service as it is to let me just tell you, my mom. Well, let me just finish the story and I'll tell you about my mom. In recent weeks, the FTC settled similar lawsuits against Match Group for $14 million and Chegg for $7.5 million, whatever the hell Chegg is, and filed a new complaint against the operators of LA Fitness. So when my mom died, Manila, she had a lot of services like we all do, and I was calling to cancel them. She subscribed to the New York Times. So you couldn't. At the time, I don't know if this has changed. You couldn't just go to the New York Times website portal and say cancel. Doesn't work. So I had to call them and wait on hold. And then I was like,
now.
And so I said, so I told them what's going on. And then they said, is there anything we can do to change your mind at the end of the whole speech? And I'm like, unless you can bring my mother, you can resurrect my mom from the dead. I don't think she's going to be needing. She's not going to need the New York Times. Look, she loved the New York Times. I find that the New York Times is best consumed while living. But when you're dead, it's not that good of a product. And
it's not very useful.
Fucking idiots. I mean, it's just like
and that was at the call center that was like, sir, before you go, is there anything we can do to change your mind?
Yes.
You're like, I just told you my mom died. Like,
she's fucking dead. Yeah.
She can no longer
and chances
read.
of reincarnation are highly limited due to cremation. So,
I thought cremation was supposed to free the soul.
The soul is free.
Spirit.
But we're not going to have any zombie situations.
She's not going to be reanimated.
She can't be reanimated.
The guy was looking for.
Highly unlikely she could be reanimated.
Yeah. So that's reanimation. Reincarnation is different. You see.
Yeah.
It's possible. It's possible.
And by the way, for anybody who thinks I'm being cavalier about my mom's death, my mom was exactly the kind of person who would have thought this was hilarious and was always laughing about shit like this. She thought, death-related stuff was completely ridiculous.
That's how I would be when my time comes. Like, you can joke about this, and then I will come back and haunt all of your asses. I will knock your shit off the shelf. I will make sure you think you're hallucinating and losing your fucking mind.
All right, so Amazon, I'm glad that they had to pay. I heard that basically, though, it sounds like it's going to be like an Iliad flow just to get the your money back, because apparently
so does that mean
like not everyone gets their money back?
But so here, what's the thing? Like, not only are they forced to pay, but are they then going to be forced to change the practice of how you cancel? Is that part of settlement?
Yeah. So no, I mean that's a complete.
Can they force?
Yeah. No. That's part of the settlement. It's a lot easier to cancel now.
So they can the FTC can force Amazon to change, like, instead of making it 16 clicks, it can be 4.
Apparently, it's already been simplified over the last 2 years. The problem's already solved.
Yeah, I can tell you that with the New York Times, they simplified it. But the whole, like, LA Fitness is coming up next. Apparently, that's on the docket for the FTC. Now, that's been an ongoing, the gym membership thing has been an ongoing joke forever and ever, because there's an episode of Friends about this very thing where Chandler and Ross want to go cancel, and they go to the gym, and the gym sicks this hot gym woman, in like a thong, like, workout outfit. And she's like, are you sure you want to do this? And they're just both, yeah, they're like, yeah, that's exactly. And they're both just like, I want to quit the gym. They look at each other and they're like, I want to quit the gym. And she's like, is there anything I can do to help change your mind? And
gyms. There's something weird about, like, gym memberships. I joined the New York Health and Racket Club back in the 1980s, before we had online banking or anything like that. And so the way it worked, they said they were just starting the whole idea of dinging your bank account, right? So they were like, bring in an empty check. And then they look at the code on your and like, we'll ding your
routing
account.
And your
all right. Yeah. So I join, I go, I work out, and after a while, like a few months, I noticed that they never hit my account. So I go in like a good Boy Scout, and I'm like, hey, you guys never charged me. Please charge me. They're like, okay, we'll take care of it, Mr. Rall. So more time passes, they never charge me. They go, oh, we lost your check. Bring in another blank check. I'm like, which is, by the way, not maybe a best practice when you think about your blank checks running around. But anyway, I did. 3 times this happens. They never fucking charged my account.
You went to Boy Scout this shit 3 times?
3 times. I literally ended up being a member of the Health and Racket Club for 12 years. And they never once charged me. I mean, we're talking about, like, I think at the time it was about...
Oh, so this worked in your favor.
$2,200 a month. I never paid. I got to the point where I was like, holy shit.
Wait, $2,200 a month?
Sorry, a year.
A year. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I'm at
That
a
makes
certain
sense.
point, I'm like, I owe these fuckers like over $25,000, and I'm getting scared, right? By the way, that's not even $25,000 now. That's back in the
Yeah.
80s. So, and then we got into the 90s. So, at a certain point, I just like stopped going, because at least if I stopped going, I'd be able to say, well, you know, I didn't go beyond this point. You can tell I didn't swipe my card, so at least it would have not been $50,000. I mean, they were very poorly managed. That's all I gotta say.
Lucky you. Well, yours was the inverse of what happened to all these other people that like couldn't find their way out of membership. But I do think like that's great. I think it's a great consumer protection thing that the FTC did this, because it's really shitty, especially when it's coming from the likes of Jeff Bezos with his new wife, and people are like, "Oh, his new wife, Lauren Sanchez." Oh, people are especially
but
cringed
she has
out
the
by
most
them.
natural and real breasts of all women in America.
And her whole face, totally
Totally
God-given
natural.
beauty.
Yeah, no, for sure. Hey, Jay French wants to know if we have any thoughts on the James Comey indictment. Probably worth a few minutes.
Yesterday I said everything I had to say yesterday. I'm happy. Good.
Well, yeah, because we were anticipating it, but now it's happened.
So good.
Right in the nick of time, right? That was the deadline.
Yeah, I don't even care if he actually serves time. I just hope we get to see a lot of stuff in Discovery. I hope it's on TV. I hope he has to spend lots of money to defend himself, because screw him.
I give no shits about James Comey.
I watched him. I watched him lie in 2016.
Basically, this is a war of assholes. Trump's an asshole.
Yes.
Comey's an asshole. They're assholes fighting assholes.
I watched Comey lie straight through his teeth about Russian collusion in 2016. The statute of limitations lapsed on that, so the government can't go after him for that. So now they're going after him for whatever his testimony was in 2020. I wasn't a Capitol Hill reporter at that point, so I didn't witness anything that I found objectionable, because I wasn't there. But I was in 2020 or 2016, and I was in the room when he was lying through his teeth about Russia. So, it's, even if he isn't found guilty, I hope he gets dragged through hell. He deserves it. I watched him lie, so I know that he lied. So it's his just desserts, at least, to have to spend money on lawyers. Douchebag.
Yeah, that is certainly true. We're going to have an ad imminently here. What's going on here? How funny! We're this is some good news. We're high up in the Rumble rankings today. We're like number 9 in America right now.
What?
Live. Yeah, look at this. Look at the screenshot
Hold
that
on here.
just put up.
What?
That is true. Yeah.
We're on the main page.
Number 2
of the Rumble.
is some sketchy outfit I've never heard of called Fox News, like named after an animal. Patriot TV is number 7.
Wow, we're up there on the main landing page.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are. Manila, I have ideas about why this is the case, and I will share those ideas with you later.
It's the squirrel. It's this.
It's the squirrel. That's what I was going to say.
It's the freaking squirrel. It's the terror story.
No, I'm doing that from now on. I'm doing that kind of thumbnail. We're doing
amazing. I love the thumbnail.
All right, here we go. If you haven't already, make sure you download the Rumble app. It's free, simple to use, and the best way to stay connected to the content you want. Once you've got it, search for our channel and hit follow. That way, you'll get a notification every time we go live. No missed shows, no extra steps. You can grab it right now using the link in the description or the Pins live chat. Download it to your phone and you're ready to go. And if you prefer watching on the big screen, Rumble's available on all major streaming devices and smart televisions. Just search for Rumble, follow the channel, and be part of the action. Okay, so that's a little bit of good news. All right, residents of a San Francisco Bay Area city are on the lookout for a killer squirrel. that has sent at least 2 people to the ER for medical treatment. Joan Heblack told KGO Television that she was walking in the Lucas Valley section of San Rafael when a squirrel seemingly came out of nowhere, probably from a wormhole, and attacked her leg, clawing and biting. It clamped onto my leg. The tail was flying up here. I was like, get it off me, she said memorably and intellectually. Isabel Campoy also said she was attacked while walking in the same area. The squirrel launched itself from the ground to her face and wound up on her arm, leaving it bloody, she said, much like a Christian martyr of the 2nd century. Both women went to the ER. Flyers have now been posted warning local residents that the squirrel is no joke and that more than 5 people have been viciously attacked by, quote, a very mean squirrel that, quote, comes out of nowhere. I mean, just think about it. If it comes out of nowhere, Manila, this means it literally isn't just a violent rodent. It also is an animal that defies the laws of physics. It literally comes out of not space-time and thin air, and it just metastasizes and it just appears, and then its molecules form into a very mean squirrel. Lisa Bloch with Marin County Humane says that they have had no reports of squirrel attacks since mid-September. If the squirrel crops up again, that's true.
That's a week.
If anything, if you're an expert, as I am, on squirrel violence, the squirrel is merely regrouping, and the next act will be even more vicious. The nonprofit will coordinate with the state of California, with Governor Gavin Newsom, will come personally and use his hair to remove the animal, she said.
As like a net.
We've seen this kind of behavior before, she said. It's almost always because someone has been feeding the animal, which is why no one should feed animals. Cats, dogs, children, don't feed animals. The good thing is that squirrels are not vectors for rabies. Not yet. She says people should never feed wildlife. San Rafael is in Marin County. That's about 20 miles north of San Francisco. Well, I mean, Marin County is just north of San Francisco, but San Rafael is 20 miles north of San Francisco.
Wandon says, what if it's a gang of squirrels taking turns? That's true.
That's entirely possible. Yeah, there's. I mean, I don't know. They all look the same to me, except for the weird albino ones and stuff.
That's squirrel list, Ted. That's okay. I'm just gonna put this out there. Here's my theory, Ted. Do you guys remember a year ago a pet squirrel in upstate New York taken from his human adoptees, his adoptive parents, Peanut? Do you guys remember that story?
That's a famous story.
So fucking inhumane, and they made a whole big stink about it, and because it turns out it's that the neighbors didn't like the farm that just got bought was by this couple that does like adult films in their farm. Yeah, but they're also an animal sanctuary
couple. Yeah,
they're an OnlyFans couple, but they turned their little farm into like an animal sanctuary, and Peanut was one of the little animals that they rescued.
As far as we know, was not an actor in the OnlyFans.
No. He was just a pet, and the fucking New York State animal control like did a ICE style raid on their home and fucking like kidnapped and killed Peanut.
Yeah, that's true. No, it is fucking insane.
So Ted, my theory, I'm gonna go ahead and say it because it's
by the way,
Friday.
The fear of squirrels is called squirrophobia.
Well, okay, I don't really have a fear of them. I don't have
any fear of squirrels.
But so my theory though is that for the past year, the squirrels of America,
squirrels don't exist. They're an idea, like Antifa and ennui.
Squirrels
and birds
birds don't exist. Squirrels have been planning for the past year how they're going to get back at
That's true.
humans.
That's right.
As revenge for Peanut.
This is, wait, do you think this could be zombified Peanut?
No. That's why it can just appear out of nowhere,
like a Pet Cemetery type situation. Yeah,
you know that original Pet Cemetery.
I don't want to be buried
really
in the Pet.
That was really scary and haunted me for a long time. Original Pet Cemetery.
By the way, yeah, me too. Especially because the cat is a Russian blue in that movie.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, he is.
Oh, I thought he was a black cat. Okay, well,
he's a Russian blue.
Robbie says, "Eat them." No. So, okay, let's just think about this for a second. If all these witnesses that have been attacked by said squirrel, assuming it's one, all say it's just out of nowhere, like they didn't even know there was a squirrel coming, and then suddenly
normally a squirrel always issues a warning. That's what's so freaky about this. I mean, it's well understood that like normally a squirrel will send you a text message and say, "I'm coming for your fucking ass." But this time,
you're on my turf, bitch.
Out of nowhere. Yeah. Humans come out and play.
They show up, they're a bunch of toughs, right? Wearing like little leather jackets.
Smoking.
Like
sneering.
Holding with their little opposable thumbs, mini clubs, like going like, "Get out of here, human." Like, you want a piece of me?
That's right. Yeah.
That's normally what happens, but this
it just comes out. I'm sorry to have interrupted. You were saying they come out of nowhere. It comes out of nowhere.
So, but to your Pet Cemetery, I mean, it's almost Halloween time, which is around the time that upstate New York, that the New York, like whatever animal control or whatever you guys call them in New York.
It's the same thing.
Did this? Is it animal control? That they did this to Peanut, and we're almost at the anniversary because all the drama began around this time.
So in that contretemps, the squirrel was snatched brutally, and it bit the animal control guy. And then they said, "Oh, we have to test it for rabies." And because it bit the animal, yeah, Peanut's a stud. Peanut's a stud.
Good for Peanut.
But they were like, "Oh, we have to cut off the head of the squirrel to analyze the brain to see if it has rabies." That's how you test it.
That's how they test?
Manila. I think I've told you this story and I will tell this story again. This is a story about a dog named Pepper. So there's a dog named Pepper, and it was my neighbor's dog, and he's a very bitey dog. So I was the first victim of Pepper. He bit my arm all the way down to the main bone, so I could see my bone going back and forth. I had the scar.
Were you a little kid?
Yeah, I was a wee one. I was like 9. Then about a month. This was a fall type situation in Ohio, like the fall of 1972. And then like a month later, Pepper bounded up to my next door neighbor Scott's, different Scott from the ones that you guys know, bounded up to Scott and just without losing a beat, bit off his cheek entirely all the way.
Oh no!
And swallowed the flesh.
Oh my God!
And then, but even after these 2 incidents, the family in question they sided with the dog. They said that Scott and I must have done something to provoke it, and that it was our fault because it's a beautiful, loving, sweet dog, never harmed their family, which was a story that lasted until November when Thanksgiving Day and Grandpa came to visit Ohio from Minnesota, and he was petting sweet dear Pepper, who doesn't hurt family members, and Pepper swallowed his pinky finger. He was a land shark. He like chomped his finger.
He bit off the finger?
He bit off the finger and swallowed it and ran away. And so at this point, my mother had done some research. And so she said, to her neighbor, I think that we need to have the dog tested for rabies. I want to make sure that Ted doesn't have rabies or that Scott doesn't have rabies. Well, the rabies test is the solution to the bitey dog because the head of the dog had to be mailed to the state capitol in Columbus to be tested. And the head of the dog is mailed separately from the body of the dog. So problem solved. The test solves the problem. And that's how they still do it. When I read all about Peanut, that's the same exact thing. They had to decapitate him with a little guillotine. They had to have a show trial, and the whole thing, like "Vive la Révolution."
How do we not have? How? Okay, that was 1972.
I know you'd be able to think that they could do a blood test
by now. Yeah, by now we don't have a better.
No,
way
it's
to
in the
test
rabies.
rabies.
It lodges in the brain, so that's how they test you. So
I just searched it.
But it's like
dudes,
but the guy was
animal must be humanely euthanized, and its brain tissue is then examined using a direct fluorescent antibody test, DFAT, to detect the virus. The process requires proper handling and submission of brain samples to a lab for analyses. We're in 2025. We can test for colon cancer at home. You can poop, and then get a little scooper and put it in a tube, and you can test for colon cancer.
And speaking of animals, as long as your dog's head is still attached to its body, there are dogs that can smell lung cancer just by smelling your breath, right?
Right. So we can't test animals.
It does seem like there should be a better way. But also the other thing about the animal control guys, you guys are animal control, and you weren't able to apprehend a squirrel without getting bitten. You retards. And the squirrel wouldn't have bitten you or needed to be tested if you hadn't been there in the first place, right?
Or if
you caused the problem. It's like you said before, they were the equivalent of the FBI guys on J6. It's the same thing. You're causing the issue.
Well, I submit for Rumble World that this is the squirrel's revenge, and this is just the beginning. And I've said this story. I don't know if I said it on air or if I was just sharing it in the Rumble room, but I have seen. I'm surprised to actually hear that squirrels aren't a vector for rabies, because I don't know for a fact that it was a rabid squirrel.
But I'm surprised to hear that too.
I think
they look like they would be.
The squirrel I saw was rabid. And so my quick story with the one weird squirrel ever was where I went to college. It was in the hills in Burbank. So if anybody's familiar with the Burbank area, it's a hilly area. Like, people think Los Angeles is like wide and flat. It's not. It's actually very hilly. So I went to school in the hills in Burbank, small private liberal arts school. And I was running. So it's like in multiple levels, right? Because you're on a hill. So maybe your next class, one class is up here at the top. My other class is way down at the bottom. Think of it like an amphitheater, the way the land was leveled, right? So you have to run down layers and layers of steps or grass to go down the amphitheater to your next class. So rather than go through this beautiful mosaic of stairs, I'm like, shit, I'm running late. I'm just going to bolt through the grass. So I'm bolting through the grass, going down the hill. And I see there's a squirrel. I'm coming up on its back, still at a distance. I see a squirrel, and I see that it's eating something. Nom, 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 nom. And so I don't want to startle it. So I move a little over out of its way. But as it hears my footsteps, stomp, 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 it stops what it's doing and turns and looks at me like, dun, dun, dun.
Not out of nowhere.
Not out of nowhere. And it turns and looks at me, and I stop dead in my tracks. We make direct eye contact. The squirrel, holding with his little opposable thumbs, is eating the wing of a bird that it had just attacked. Bloodied face. Its eyes looked at me like, you want some of this, bitch? You want some?
What?
Yeah, I stopped, and it felt like forever that I locked eyes with a squirrel.
You do you. Good squirrel. Good squirrel.
Yeah, and I stopped, and I was like, oh my God, it probably has rabies. Its face was
they're
not
vegetarian. They eat bugs. I wonder if he scavenged the bird. The bird might have the bird may have just died. He came across it, and then
it was fresh.
The
blood his face was full
but that doesn't,
wet
but the bird could have just passed away, just shed its mortal coil.
Well, I was scarred Ted, this is 20 whatever years later. It's still seared in my brain like it happened yesterday. I've never seen anything like it. And so I was thinking, fuck, if I act too erratically, that thing can catch me. It can climb on me. It's a climber. It has opposable thumbs and bitey teeth. So I'm like, exactly like you said, I'm like, Oh,
Good squirrel.
nice squirrel.
You're very cute.
You enjoy your bird
Snack.
meal.
Bye.
I'm just going to.
Well, animals can lose it. Look, I had to. So, and I've got to go after. I've got to go after this. I had so. This is actually news you can use. So, I had this. I'm kind of known for my fondness of cats. Me and Curtis Sliwa. And so when people want a cat, they sometimes consult with me. And an ex-girlfriend called me and she's like, "Oh, I'd like to get a cat. Would you like to come to the shelter to help me choose one?" I'm like, "That's so much fun." Of course, I don't even have the responsibility of having to get the cat. Like, it's hard to go to a shelter and not come out with a cat. So, but it's like, in this case, I am going to come out with the cat, but I don't even have to take care of it. So I went and assisted. She picked out this very, very cute gray tabby, beautiful cat. And she lived peacefully with the cabbie and couldn't say enough about how cozy and sweet he was for 6 months. One day, after no warning whatsoever, for 6 months, this was just like the cat never clawed, it never bit, nothing bad happened. Suddenly, it went crazy. It was sitting on her lap, and it lunged at her and started attacking, biting and clawing ferociously, back and forth. She tried to beat it back. It kept coming for her. She went at it with her lamp to try to get it away. It wouldn't go back. What? Long story short, she was driven back to her bathroom, and she locked herself in the bathroom. She was covered with blood from like the claw marks all over her legs.
Oh my God.
The cat was lunging. It's a normal sized cat, like 10, 11 pounds, lunging at the door. It was like one of those cheap landlord doors, where basically if you breathe on it, it collapses. And I saw the door later. It was full of like holes where the cat had thrown itself against the door trying to get in. The neighbors hear the whole thing going on. They assume a home invasion is going on. It's New York City in the
right,
because
she's going, ah!
So she's screaming and there's things breaking and throwing around. So NYPD responds. They break down the door. The cat attacks the officers. The officers shoot the cat. The bullet travels through the cat, through the floor, into the apartment below, goes into the femoral artery of the leg of the guy who's watching TV downstairs. He almost fucking dies. He's lucky to have survived the incident.
How do you discharge your firearm on a cat?
The cat was coming for him. I mean, he had more.
That is the point of like trigger happy cops.
He had more cause to shoot the cat than most cops have to shoot black people who are just standing there. And so anyway, the point is that the cat came after him, and so he shot him. And anyway, so she talked to the cop afterwards. And by the way, the New York Post ran the story on the cover. Catastrophe. And of course. And the thing is, she talked to the officers and she said, we actually see this sort of thing. Animals, like people, mammals, sometimes they flip a switch. There's some little, dribble of something in their bodies, like, triggers something in their brain, and they
have a mental health meltdown.
They just fucking lose it. And it can happen to like horses. It can happen to any animal you can think of.
Like literally perfectly harmless for years and years and years.
Yep.
Loving, wonderful family pet, and out of nowhere eats your newborn child.
Exactly. That's exactly right. Which is why the cops actually told her, you should never have a dog that's big enough or mean enough to take you in a fair fight.
Well, so you always hear those stories of like pit bulls.
Yeah, no one should have those.
That's why. Yeah, I know a lot of people that would fight me on this and say, like, that's not true. It's how you raise the animal and whatever.
That's not true.
But every time you hear of like a deadly dog mauling attack or eating a newborn, it's always a pit bull. Always a pit bull, Ted. So
well, the thing is they lock you up. All right, let's run that third ad, and then I'm going to be on my way.
We gotta give it a couple seconds. So Robbie can put that up. But that's Fun Friday is always involving like animals.
I
always.
trust Clovis, but anything could happen at any time.
Well, he will fucking eat you, Ted. If you drop dead,
I hope so.
He will
Clovis,
eat you.
You have full permission to eat me if I'm dead, but you can't just kill me. You have to.
It's on air. Yeah, but then
be dead. I have to either have been murdered by like a normal person, eaten by
wait, hold on,
killed by Netanyahu, or natural causes.
So pretty, but hold on, Ted. Like Gene Hackman, right? Gene Hackman and his wife. The dogs ate some of them. Do the dogs get put down?
And rightly so. I hope not.
Do the dogs get put down for doing that?
But they often do that shit. All right, here we go. Looking for a comfortable but unique option for your gaming setup? Check out TechnoSportUSA.com. With a wide range of ergonomic chairs and an array of colors, you will definitely bring your setup to the next level. Always comfy, never boring. Technosport. Use code RUMBLE for 10% off the entire order.
Awesome. So that is your Fun Friday. Questions, comments, concerns, TMI show question at yahoo.com. Everybody, thank you. Hope you had fun on the Fun Friday show with us. We certainly enjoyed it.
New premium episode is dropping in about 20 minutes, so stay tuned.
Woohoo! That one is hosted by me and Scotty Nell Hughes, and we're talking about food, nutrition, and like healthy
eating.
So if you're a foodie, there you go. Adios, amigos. Thank
Bye.
you. Bye, y'all.